All right. So we are currently live. I'm going to figure out how to eventually flip my camera here. I don't really think there is a way to flip it. So if there isn't, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try and make this work, I guess, to the best of our abilities. Um, yeah, we're gonna try and get this to work here. I think it's not using the right camera, so we're gonna make it work, I guess. Welcome. Here's my face. Today is our first day of a podcast. This is Gaz's Unsubscribed Sports Podcast, where we talk shit about sports and trades that we don't think should have happened or trades we think should have happened. And a lot of this is going to be done via Discord. So joining me on Discord for our first time is Battle. We also have Ambush here. Today, I think we're gonna start off a little bit with a light topic. I think. I think the first topic we're really gonna start with, and I can't see the chat because, so I really can't see the chat much. So I think today we're going to start kind of with our first topic is going to be the Mikko Rantanen trade. And personally, my thoughts on that are that was a bullshit trade. Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall to the Carolina Hurricanes. And in exchange, Chicago gets robbed out of the trade. I'm going to be honest. Chicago got robbed. Chicago received draft picks and no players, and Marty Necas, top goal scorer for Carolina, and Jack Drury, top rookie, get thrown to the Avalanche. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And it was kind of a thing of why was this trade a thing? And I think reasonably, like for Carolina, they're looking to have some new blood, get some more wins on their record. But I think definitely with the way that this trade went, with Chicago getting robbed, they didn't get anything out of this. Mikko Rantanen is, I believe, like when I looked today, is not even in the stats board at all. And I think with how this went, it was get Mikko Rantanen to score more goals for Carolina. And what did Carolina do? Carolina, I think, is on a about 5-game winning streak. Maybe they've lost a couple here and there that I don't know about. But I think what really happened is in order for Carolina to win more, they needed to get rid of a couple people, and releasing their power forward in Marty Necas didn't do anything good for them at all. We'll start Battle. We'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the Mikko Rantanen trade? Battle, if you're there. I don't even...
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. All good. Honestly, I hope it works out for them. Honestly, only time can tell. I mean, we just gotta start with the tail of the tape here with I guess what were some of the? Was there any trade compensation? I guess.
As far as I know, with how the trade conversation went with that, is Chicago was robbed. I'm gonna be honest. Chicago got robbed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're looking at with how this went. Chicago got draft picks from Carolina, and they also received, I believe, a third-round draft pick from the Avalanche.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, I guess I feel like I should be the expert here on like terrible trades because as if there's any football fans out there that know about the Houston Texans, it was about I mean at this point it was 6 years ago about that Bill O'Brien made the worst fucking trade in sports history when we gave up DeAndre Hopkins for a bag of chips and David Johnson. So to pretty much say like Chicago, like I don't really feel like the picks given up were compensatory. I mean, hopefully we can only see how time goes from here, but that's just my piece on it. Honestly, I
With the trade, I think it was more of how many goal scorers can Carolina now have on their roster, and
right.
they have good goal scorers. They have Sebastian Aho. They have a bunch of people. They've got their captain Jordan Stahl, who I think especially in the last few weeks of the season here, we've seen him start doing more things for Carolina, and that's mainly just setting up for Sebastian Aho or a couple of other people like their rookie Jackson Blake, who when I looked at the stats earlier today, Jackson Blake as a rookie is currently showing 17 points as a rookie, which is really good. And then you've got Macklin Celebrini, who is up there as well with a bunch of his ideas. And so I feel like mainly with how this goes, and as we're looking at this, Carolina has a lot of goal scorers, and Chicago really doesn't. And we've seen how the Blackhawks have been playing this year. And it's really weird for Chicago to get draft picks out of this. I feel like there should have been an area where maybe the Blackhawks should have requested something, and they didn't. And instead they were able to get draft picks, but Chicago needs more of a power forward or a forward or defenseman that's good at scoring goals, and they don't have that. They have Connor Bedard, and I think what really Chicago fans are mad about is Connor Bedard has now lost 2 mentors. He lost who was it? Corey Perry, who was waived by Chicago. His contract terminated. And then it looks more to me like they got rid of Taylor Hall. And Taylor Hall was also another mentor to him. And that kind of, I think, screwed over Chicago there. So like any thoughts there?
Yeah, honestly, like from what I guess just to make sure I heard you correctly, basically like they're losing veterans. They already lost, a star player there, and they didn't get enough compensation. I mean, the only thing really they can do is they just have to start young again, and then from there, hopefully they get lucky enough, sign a veteran, and hopefully like get this team going again because I can sense from this I can only see dark days ahead. Um, I'm not too much of an expert so much with hockey, but knowing how rebuilds went for us, you're probably going to have a few bad years. But slowly, as I guess your record wise, you're not doing as well. You're assuming you're going to still have to get draft compensation and like hopefully start from ground zero, and from there I'll build around some veterans to help with the rookies. So um, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a couple rough years.
Yeah. Now I know
This trade.
Brian. I know I know we talked, and we wanted to talk about the Super Bowl coming up.
Yes, the Super Bowl.
I want to say my Green Bay Packers didn't make the Super Bowl this year, and I was actually really disappointed about that. I was really hoping they would.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But I think in this year's Super Bowl, I got to go with the Eagles.
Yeah, talent wise, absolutely. Like on paper, the Eagles should win. I mean, you got basically an MVP candidate right now in Saquon Barkley, who's just been going on an absolute tear with over 2,000 yards rushing, and then pretty much you still got the other weapons doing really good with the AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and then the offensive line is just fucking fantastic. I mean, it would have been cool to see Jason Kelsey play again this year, going against Travis for the second time.
And what I heard something about that is that Jason Kelsey is still eligible to play for Philadelphia in the Super Bowl because Philadelphia lost both their centers.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure you guys watched the playoff game. I saw highlights of it from TikTok. Is they were trying on the goal line a lot actually, and eventually I think their center got injured because the inside linebacker was just jumping over him and onto him to try and prevent what the tush push that Philadelphia does that's on the goal line. And he just kept jumping outside. And eventually I think the refs got tired of it and were like, oh well, we can award a point. We can award, the 6 points here. And I think that's what they were gonna do.
Yeah. I think too, like a lot of issues from that usually comes from the snap count, because a lot of these like linebackers too, they're the one, like middle linebacker, they're basically the quarterback, and they're supposed to know like the center's the time snap of that. So I forgive me if I forgot the dude's name, but I think it was I'm not sure, but yeah, basically he fucking timed that wrong.
Yeah, and as somebody who plays middle linebacker, right, guessing a snap count's hard enough, right? And you normally know like, okay, it's gonna be on 1 or on 2, but on the weird snap counts, it's like, what are they going on? And like I myself I've seen an on 2 snap count in a game, but I've never really seen anything else other than an on 2 snap count, nothing really bigger. There's maybe some teams that'll use like an on 3 if they're taking a knee, but the middle linebacker coming up into that A gap area and then just jumping over him.
Right, try to pull Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, there's definitely better ways to do that than just jumping over the center. And what I kept noticing in Washington's defense is they were on the goal line, they were leaving that A gap area open. So in my eyes, if you just try and plug the A gap as much as you can and try and force the center back. I know like there's a bunch of areas that you can get in through a wedge, but if you just try and blitz that A gap as hard as you can, get low on it. I know that I've watched a play like that before, where they wedge and they're low enough, but if you can find that weakness maybe, in between the center and the guard, that hole is going to open up eventually.
Yeah. Right.
And you see it in a lot of football film when you look at it is, every gap opens up eventually. It's just timing it right. And if you're going to blitz your inside backers, tell them to time it with the steps. Try and knock them off balance as they're getting through the line of scrimmage.
Right. And something I noticed too, like normally, like objectively knowing DeMeco Ryans' defense, we kind of have like our nose tackles line up on like a. I mean, I'm still kind of new with football film and everything and like lineup techniques, but like I noticed like the Commanders had theirs like in a, I guess too much of like a 3 or 4 technique, I believe, like too much.
To me, it looked like it was kind of like a 3 technique in the inside, and like they were like more of like outside shade on the on the outside. They were like outside the tackle, and they were outside the guard on the inside guys. On the
exactly
on the ends. And then they didn't have anything in the center. So realistically, you put an inside backer over the center, and you have maybe an outside blitz, and then you have pressure coming in the inside with your other inside backer. Eventually, the hole's going to open up. The thing that I was taught is sometimes you just got to force it open. Like sometimes you just got to force it. And that seems to work a lot.
And like, I'm not sure if he was on the play, but Johnny Newton, I remember like they were saying coming out of college, I guess like he wasn't like exactly like the right size to per se like to like plug up hold like someone like a who's that up in New York? The Giants, Dexter Lawrence.
I think so. Yeah, I'm not.
The Dexter Lawrence like to plug up like that area. I mean, I think like because like in comparison, Philadelphia's guards like with I think with Mailata and like on the other side the line, like they're I'm not sure. I'm sorry, but
a lot of their holes, like a lot of holes, seem to open up, and from what I've noticed is sometimes it's between the guard and the tackle, or sometimes you've got the center stepping one way and the guard messes up and goes the other way. Well, boom! Now you got to open a gap, right? It might be the A gap or it might be the B gap that opens up, but if you time it right, a hole will open, and you're just going to be able to squeak through. Just use low technique and try and get through as much as you can. Like if you try hard enough, a hole will open up, or sometimes you got to force it.
Exactly. I think that's why too. Like I love Philadelphia's coaching, and we've even been trying to look at some of like the offensive line coaches, even that just come over to Houston, which like that the work that they've done is impeccable. Honestly, say least, and that's why Saquon Barkley's on this MVP tear.
Yeah. So Brian, I gotta ask, who you got Super Bowl wise?
Super Bowl wise, I mean, if you're gonna, I guess it depends on how you ask it. If you're asking me like how I'm gonna fucking see it right now, I mean, I got the Chiefs just because of the BS with the refs. I mean, I'm just trying to plan in my mind like, okay, they're gonna three-peat. The NFL Goodell wants to fucking push this right now, where Mahomes wins this basically 3 times in a row. I mean, right, and I mean, let's be real here. I mean, that defense may not exactly be like. I mean, they're still top 5, but I mean, they're the reason why they're winning right now. The offense, on the other hand, they're not. They're like in the bottom half of points scored. But I mean, Andy Reid, has been getting it done. I mean, Mahomes, like, sure, he's been on a down year with interceptions and everything. But of course, when it comes to that time in the playoffs, they just have that mentality to turn it on and basically just win it. Like, they know how to win. They've been in this thing before. And I recall 2022, they beat them a couple of years ago. So, I mean, of course, I'm rooting for the Eagles, especially as a Texans fan when the the Chiefs kicked us out.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now, I mean, pretty much all of America right now is fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Like I said, I got the Eagles. Maybe the Eagles will actually finally beat Patrick Mahomes. Ambush, who you got? Super Bowl.
I got Eagles this year, bro. Go Birds.
All right, guys.
I feel
Well, I
like
think
Hurts
that's where
been
we're
doing
going to
really
end
good
it
this
for
year as a
today.
QB.
I think that's where we'll end it for today.
Okay.
To the people watching at home, thank you guys so much for watching. Battle, Ambush, thank you guys for joining us. We hope to see you guys next time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. All right. Bye, chat.
Absolutely. Yeah, Chad.